6:10 a.m. WFNZ. The Fan. Live from Super Bowl 50.
Brandon Lang. Brandon, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
Exciting week for you. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, thanks for being on. And, it's a great time. And I know the numbers are all over the place, with this game. But when you start looking at, these two teams, I just don't know if 4.5, 5 points is enough. I mean, most handicappers are thinking that, this bet on Denver. That's all I've heard. But when you look at what the Panthers have done against the number, how is that not higher?
Well, first of all, again, when you're 20-3 in Super Bowls, you look at it from a different perspective. And there's nothing I don't look at, and it's a process for me. There's nothing. I study every possible thing you can think of because the Super Bowl always comes down to one matchup, one huge matchup that's more significant or more important than any other. Example, let's go to, because since 1991, there's been 25 Super Bowls. Vegas has only been beaten twice. 1995, when the Niners were minus 19 over the Chargers, they blew them out. In 2008, when the Giants crushed 18-0 Patriots, a lot of people had Giants money line. Vegas got beat up pretty good. But since 1991, Vegas has won $130 million on the Super Bowl. Only been beat twice. Won $3.1 million last year. Not a big take, but they still won. So when you look at this Super Bowl, line opened up 4, 5, up to 6. Vegas was not going to move it to 6.5 because they did the sharps within by the half and get it to 7. So they kept it right at 6. Now I've seen it teeter back to a few 5.5s, and I think that's where it's going to settle off. So a lot of public money on Carolina. Public's not always right. Secondly, Denver's defense is going to do what Denver's defense is going to do. If you think Cam's going to go up and down the field on this defense on 4 11-play, 80-yard drives, it's not going to happen, guys. It's not. Look at the Atlanta game. They went in there. Don't tell me it was a flat spot. Don't tell me they didn't want to win that game. They went in there, first drive of the game, 11 plays, 79 yards. Carolina's up 7-0. You think blowout. Atlanta goes on a 12-minute drive, gets into the second quarter, 7-7. And then Carolina struggled offensively. The front four of Atlanta was getting pressure, and Cam struggled, and he didn't feel comfortable. And they got beat by a not a very good defense. So Denver's going to slow Carolina down. Carolina's not going to score 30 in this game unless they get 2 turnovers. They're not going to get to 24 unless they get a turnover. The matchup of this entire game is the offensive line of Denver versus your defensive front. There's nothing else that matters in this game, guys. If Peyton's got time to throw, just like Matt Ryan had time to throw, he's going to have guys open. Can Denver's defense step up and have a big game? That's the question because your D-line is ungodly.
And that's when you look at this matchup, I don't know how many points, that's going to give the Carolina Panthers, but they've had turnovers in the last 2 games with these routes. Early on against Russell Wilson, they had the interception for a touchdown, and then late against the Arizona Cardinals, Luke has another, interception for a touchdown. A lot of times those defensive stops turn into points, and that's where you start saying, can that snowball when you start looking at this game? Absolutely.